Okay, you ready for the second one? Okay, the second one is basically start from the سيقول السفهاء من الناس ما ولاهم عن قبلتهم التي أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم سيقول السفهاء من الناس ما ولاهم عن قبلتهم التي كانت عليها قل الله المشرق والمغرب يهدي من يشاء إلى صراط مستقيم. So it is about the changing of the Qibla. So now people because for 16 months he went from Muhammad went to Medina. We know that the Quran is basically, we call it the Madani Quran and the Makki Quran, before the Hijrah or after the Hijrah. It's not like only because if it revealed in the Medina. No, anything after the Hijrah, even if it revealed in Medina or Makkah or maybe Hunain or the Tabuk, wherever it revealed, it was Madani Quran. And we know that they accept two verses, which are the Surah Al-Baqarah's last two verses. Allah actually gifted when he went to the heavens. So beside that, whole Quran revealed in the Hijaz, like in Arabia, part of the Arabia Hijaz. But first, Prophet Muhammad's life, 63 years. Out of that, after 40 years, he became a prophet. First 13 years, he was in Makkah. We call it the Makki Quran. In Medina, Madani Quran. So this surah is Madani Quran. At that time, when Prophet used to be in Makkah, he used to station because he used to stand the way that he will align because obviously everyone should be facing the Baitul Maqdis, right? So, but he would align in between, so Kaaba would be in between. So basically, he was uh, shooting in a direction, so with the Kaaba would be in his way. But when he was in Medina, yeah, it was like behind, so it was not possible. So he kept on looking to the sky. Maybe Jibreel Islam would come and he'll ask, like, so who knows that he has the feeling that Allah one day would change the Qibla. So first 16 months did not happen. Then the Jews in the Medina, they were hypocrite, most of them, and most of them they're not Muslim yet. So they start taunting because now the revelation came that now you have to change your direction toward the Kaaba. And now this taunting, look at the religion, look at these people, they keep on shifting their Kaaba. And Allah is responding here. These are just the directions, Allah's commandments. So Allah owns everything. What you guys are talking about?
There's something in there as well that defends Rasulullah with one of the ayahs there. Allah says that this Prophet of mine just looked up in our review. I gave him whatever. If he says something, what object he is.
Yeah, there's the same. So, if I don't think so, the Hassan's voice can be heard here, but I'll say that he said, "Look at the Prophet. He looked at the sky, and Allah revealed this. And what could have if he asked something?
I don't know.
But I'll tell you when the Taif things happened, right? Taif thing happened when he was bleeding, his feet was bleeding, and the Allah sent angels and said, if you order us, we can crush these valleys. And Prophet Hassan said no. So assistance of Allah was always there, but he was so humble. So basically, Dr. Israr Saab and some of the scholars, they say this is not only the direction of the Qibla. Now actually, it is Allah. In other words, Allah is saying now all this, the whole, everything what the Jews was holding, all this, like, so it is now shifting to the Muslims. So that's why they figure it out too, that this is a big trouble for us, that everyone basically was behind us before, and now they're taking over everything. So this is basically a taking over, or Allah is snatching. In other words, Allah snatched because they've been corrupt and they've been modifying, and they twisted a lot their religion, their books. So Allah snatched from them and gave it to Prophet Muhammad Sallam, which is nowadays for Muslims. So if you're not fulfilling the job, then it's a trouble. So that is the, and you can go through in these ayats or through 142 to 147. So so basically, when Prophet Sallam, he went to the Medina, he built a mosque. And that mosque was not only to pray there, it was a headquarter, it was welfare station, it was everything. So Allah's Prophet, he was preparing some people, group of people, educating them so they can have a love of Allah over the love of this dunya and all these things. That's why the companions, they care less what they're gonna have in this dunya. They were focusing basically more on hereafter. So this is what they call it, the tazkiyat al-nafs, cleansing, right? I hope I had the Hassan did not even offer me. I have some English commentary in front of me, but anyway, it's a rough. I know it's very rough idea that we're doing in the mosque, and it's, maybe you guys hear a lot of noises from the background, but it's all right because it was for our family, and if someone want to, it's so good. So basically, what we call is the Uswat Rasul, right? It's the lifestyle of the. If we copy, this is the best lifestyle of the human being. Allah said this is the best of best. So if we copy, more we get all these privileges of this world and hereafter. So in this surah and this just Allah also talk about the how we have to sometimes sacrifice things when you have to spread the word of Allah. And Sheikh Khalid, day before yesterday was, I think, yeah, day before yesterday, when he was talking about the Ali Yasin's, the person who came from the far end of the Min Aqsal Medina, far end of the city, and he wanted to tell his nation to follow these three prophets because they were not listening to the three prophets and denying. He said, listen to them. He said, look at that person. So you have to work within your capabilities and don't make the excuses, oh, it's too far, this and that. No, that's number one. He came from too far. Number two, he stood alone, and they even martyred him. They killed him. So, so he stood alone. So if there's a haq, you stand alone. If there's a far away community, you still go for the halqa. And it's not like excuse, oh, they are far away, this and that, and so many other things. But along with that, when Allah says in this surah that you have to give up something, your lifestyle, sometimes your charity, sometimes your even people, they offered their own life. They went to the wars because of what? Because they just wanted to establish the deen of Allah. That was the whole thing. And and obviously, أولئك عليهم صلوات من ربهم ورحمة. So Allah sent these rahmas and all the tranquility to those people. So, um, as I told you, in our instinct, we have already, every human being, they have some iman, they know something. So, but the things what the Arab at that time, they could observe easily, and every person can observe. So they can't be in like, they can't say, oh, we are in a modern life or we are like backdated or this and that. So at that time, what the Arab or Bedouin could observe, like a camel, Allah gave those examples which every human being can observe sometime, and we will go through again and again. But sometimes Allah tells about the water cycle, about the camel, how Allah camel was created, and look at the sky, how the sky was created, how the water cycle, clouds, rain, these these cows and sheep and you take the milk from them, and they take the food from the earth, and with the earth producing food through the water, which is stored in the sky and the clouds. And look at this whole science and whole like it's a cycle, life cycle, or water cycle, all these things. Like, don't Allah says, look and don't you look at these mountains? Don't you look this the sea, darkness of the sea, how big this world is, like trees and so all these things. When Allah says, uh, don't you see these boats when they sail in the ocean? Who is holding them? Don't you see this birds? Who is holding them? Now they say, oh, it is this and this. But
It's like Surah Rahman, where there's a pearl at the bottom of the ocean and a massive tanker on the top. God, something holding it.
exactly. So if the people they have the iman, they always love Allah and His Messenger. And people, the dodgy people, we know that they dodgy. They have this and that, and normally they follow. Our dad says that, our custom says that, our this, our that, our that, our family, and Islam when comes in, when Islam kicks in, all these things have no value. What you've been doing, this get a life. And we also talk about the people when they used to give the wrong fatwas they knew. But Allah says that they're just putting a fire in their stomach, giving the wrong fatwa for the rich people, and whoever is coming, you are giving the fatwa accordingly. Like what you guys are doing is saman and qalila, that you trading off with the little thing, man. Then Allah also talk about the who is a really pious person, because only direction, having a direction to the particular thing, it's not. Allah is saying what is the attributes who are really pious people. So they spend, give the charity, they worship at the night, they perform the 5 times prayers, and they give the zakat, and they whenever they deal with the people, they deal like a solid deal, like they don't lie and do all this mockery and betray this and that. No, it's not. Like whenever they trade, whenever they buy, whenever they sell, whenever they marry, whenever they, how they deal with their parents, with their neighbors, all these things. And whenever they promise, they fulfill their promises. And um, and if the fight happens between the haq and batil, the true and the false, so Allah also addressed that they always um, steadfast patiently. And obviously now we are in the month of Ramadan, and ayah 183 to 188 of this surah, Surah Al-Baqarah, talks about the Ramadan, and Allah revealed this Quran in the month of Ramadan, and the blessing of this month and all these things. So Allah talks about the Ramadan thing in this, and also because the Battle of Badr happened in Ramadan. So Allah talks about the, and later we're gonna go thoroughly about the Battle of Badr. But um, in when the people they went to the Medina, Allah allowed them, yeah. So now you can retaliate. Now there's a time you fight back. In Makkah, 13 years they've been oppressed, so it was not allowed for them to kick back. Now in your sense, kick back in there, like heading back. You guys call the kickback, it's relaxing. Okay, so in this surah also Allah talks about the Hajj, how you gonna perform the Hajj, and don't follow the footsteps of the shaitan. And Allah also he talks about the sometime human being, they don't want to go to the wars and things. But Allah says, sometime, not only the wars, it's not limited to the wars in everything. Sometime, even in the marriage. So sometimes we think that this is bad for us, we hate it, but it turns to be good. And sometimes it's the other way around. We think that it is good, but it is actually bad. Allah wants to take it away from you. So whatever happens, yeah, we have to understand this thing. So also the list of the crimes what the kuffar they used to do, they used to shift the months, because in certain months they should not be fighting in the wars. But what they do, because now they want to pick a fight, they shift this month of Muharram. Okay, well, this year we're gonna shift it there and shift it there, and the number of times they shifted, they even lost the what time gonna be the Ramadan. Imagine if over the period of time, if Ramadan lost, they do not have the count, because in those days they do not have the computers and all these things. So they used to have with their own minds, like memory. So they said, okay, we shift this and they shift this, and they actually lost the plot. So Allah fixed them, realigned again for them. And among the crimes what they've been doing, that the alcohol and the gambling and taking, oppressing the orphans, and all sort of killing and all sort of bad things. And there's a whole list of things what they've been doing. And when Islam came out, Islam tried to teach everything. And obviously, about the divorce, about the divorce, um, that let's see if we have to stop. Actually, we'll take a pause because it's Asr time.